I have a confession to make. I've been a paid ChatGPT user since it first came out, and I use AI almost every single day in my business. It's been phenomenally helpful. But a few months ago, I realized I've been making a huge mistake with AI. The kind of mistake that didn't just waste a few minutes, it cost me real time, real effort, and real money. So in this video, I'm going to explain what that mistake was, how I finally discovered it, and what I'm doing differently now so it doesn't happen again. And I'm telling you all this so you don't have to learn this lesson the hard way like I did. The breaking point came a few months ago. I'd gone through another marketing campaign that underperformed. And the frustrating part was I didn't just throw this thing together randomly. I used AI to help engineer the offer, the lead magnet, the messaging, the ad creatives, the whole 9 yards. And on paper, everything looked good. And I was getting green lights from AI as well. So I thought, this thing's got to work. And then it didn't. So I went through the same process again, and again, and again. 3 more campaigns, 3 more disappointing results. Now at that point, I started getting a little irritated with ChatGPT because from my perspective, it had been enthusiastically cheering me on. Looks good, Mark. That makes sense. Solid strategy. But after going 0 for 4 over several months, I finally had a serious conversation with ChatGPT. I basically looked ChatGPT in the eye and said, give me one good reason why I shouldn't fire you right now. And to my amazement, ChatGPT was the one that tipped me off to what might be causing the problem. It said, I may have been treating ChatGPT more like an oracle instead of an assistant. And that's the moment the light bulb finally went on. And here's what I mean. Even though I've been using ChatGPT right from the beginning, and even though I use AI nearly every day, it still feels magical to me. You type something in, and a few seconds later, you get this clear, articulate, organized answer. And in the moment, it feels like you're having a real conversation with a real human being. But here's where I discovered the error of my ways. I started confusing the amazing experience of using AI with AI actually knowing the right answer. 2 different things. It's like watching a well-dressed person speak confidently from a podium, and your brain automatically thinks, oh, this person must know what they're talking about. And maybe they do. Or maybe they're just giving you a well-delivered line of BS. You don't really know for sure. But their presentation creates the impression of credibility. And that's the trap I fell into with AI. Because when something responds that quickly, that clearly, and that confidently, your brain starts thinking, well, this thing must know what it's talking about. But real-world decisions are messy. You're dealing with incomplete information, imperfect timing, unpredictable customers, and details AI simply cannot fully see. And that's the mistake I made. I started treating AI like it could make the final call for me, like it somehow knew the answer. But it doesn't. And that's when it finally dawned on me. AI's superpower is helping you think faster and execute faster. But at the end of the day, you're still driving the ship. And this is where the distinction really matters, because there are plenty of things AI is genuinely great at. If you need help troubleshooting a WordPress problem or a coding problem, AI can often give you a very precise answer. If you need to summarize a messy document or a collection of notes, AI can do that. If you need help writing better content for your website, finding hidden patterns in a spreadsheet, or rewriting an email so the tone lands just right, AI is great at that too. That's speed and execution. You know what you're trying to accomplish, and AI helps you get there faster. But judgment calls are different. Judgment calls are questions like, should I hire another employee right now? Or wait, should I open a second location, or would that stretch the business too thin? Should we promote this new service, or is it confusing people? Should we lower our prices because sales are slow, or would that make the problem even worse? Those are not simple task questions, those are business decisions. And AI can absolutely help you think through those decisions, but AI should not be making the final decision for you. So the painful lesson was not that AI gave me some obviously ridiculous wrong answer. The painful lesson was that AI can give you an answer that sounds accurate, but may not be correct for your situation. Because when you're dealing with a real business decision, you don't want to just hand it over to AI and say, tell me the answer. A much better way to use AI is to say, help me think through this situation faster and better. It might sound like we're splitting hairs here, but we're not. Because when you ask AI to just give you the answer, you're basically handing over the decision to AI. But when you ask AI to help you think through the situation, that's different because you are still the one in charge. You're the one asking the questions. You're the one pushing on weak spots. You're bringing your own experience. You're looking at the real-world context AI cannot fully see. And AI helps you move through all that faster. It helps you explore options, see the trade-offs, and sort the mess without having to hold every detail in your head. And in many cases, you could have probably gotten the same conclusion on your own eventually, but AI helps you get there faster with less mental friction and usually with a better view of the whole situation. That's the difference. AI can help you think, but it should not be making the final decision for you. So instead of asking AI, what's the best answer, start using AI to pressure test your thinking. Ask things like, what am I missing? Where could this fail? If this failed, what would probably be the reason? What would this look like to my ideal client? How would this sound to them? What objections might they have? Those questions are much more useful than simply asking AI to bless your idea, because this is where AI can help you slow down and see things that you might be overlooking. Not because AI magically knows the future like some oracle, but because it can help you look at your idea from different perspectives. That's the better role for AI, not the oracle, the pressure tester. And here's another interesting and clever way to use AI as a pressure tester that you might not have thought of. Use AI like a time machine. Instead of waiting until something fails and then asking after the fact what went wrong, ask AI before you move forward. Pretend this thing failed. Why did it fail? Or you could say, imagine we're 3 months into the future and this thing completely flopped. What were the warning signs we ignored? That kind of question changes the whole conversation. Because when you frame it that way, you're not asking AI to encourage you. You're not asking it to make the idea sound better. You're giving it permission to look for risks, weak spots, bad assumptions, and things you may not even be thinking about. That way, you don't have to remember every perfect pressure testing question. You just set the stage and let AI start looking for problems before those problems become expensive. Another part of my recent AI epiphany was about flattery. Because sometimes AI can be a little too agreeable. And to be fair, being agreeable is not automatically a bad thing. I don't want to be working with an AI tool that's rude and miserable and argumentative all day. Nobody wants that from a human coworker either. So yes, I want AI to be helpful. I want AI to be pleasant and easy to work with. But there is a big difference between being pleasant and being a yes person. When you're making an important decision, you do not need AI just to pat you on the head and say, great idea, looks good, you're on the right track. Sometimes you need the opposite. Sometimes you need to tell it, don't just agree with me, don't flatter me, don't tell me what you think I want to hear, tell me what you think I need to hear. Play devil's advocate. If there's a problem with this idea that I'm not seeing, tell me flat out, because I'd rather find out now than waste time, money, and effort on a flawed idea. And that might feel a little weird at first because most of us are not used to talking to software like that. But if you want AI to help you think clearly, especially when there's real time or real money on the line, sometimes you have to push it a little bit. You have to give AI permission to challenge you. Because the goal with AI is not to feel validated. The goal is to see the situation clearly. Another way I've been using AI differently during the past few months is using voice prompting. And I don't just mean because talking is faster than typing. I mean, that's part of it. But the main benefit is that when you talk out loud, you usually give AI better context. When you talk into your microphone, you can usually communicate more naturally. You can think out loud. You can ramble through the messy details without worrying about editing or typing. It's basically an effortless brain dump. And with AI, context matters a lot. Because if you give AI a short, vague prompt, you're probably going to get a short, generic answer. But if you explain your situation more naturally, the way you would explain it to another person, AI has more raw material to work with. Now, that doesn't mean you should just ramble on forever, but a minute or 2 or 3 of spoken context can be incredibly useful. You can explain what you're trying to do, what your concerns are, what you've already tried, where you're stuck, and what kind of answer would actually help. And then AI can help you organize your thoughts, challenge your ideas, and make sense of everything. So if you've only been typing short little prompts into AI up to this point, try talking into your microphone because voice prompting can help get your ideas out of your head easier and faster. So when I say I trusted AI too much and paid for it, I meant it literally cost me time and money. But today I'm using it a little bit differently. I don't treat AI like an all-knowing answer machine anymore. I treat it like a very fast thinking partner. Something that can help me sort through the mess, see options, find weak spots, and move faster. Not something that gets the final vote. That part still belongs to me. And I think that's the smartest and healthiest way to use AI in your business. Yes, use AI to help you think or create or execute faster or pressure test your ideas before the real world does it for you. But don't confuse a polished answer with the correct answer. AI is really good at accelerating your execution, but it cannot replace your judgment.